The blockchain industry is booming, and regulatory forces are charging right along with it. While the average cryptocurrency user may not notice much of a difference in the logistical operations of their crypto-related activities, crypto exchanges around the globe have been forced to step up their compliance game. Practically, this means that exchanges increasingly rely on identity verification service providers to ensure that their KYC and AML requirements are up to snuff. One such service provider that's been making waves in the crypto space is the Cyprus-based AU10TIX. Finance Magnates recently spoke to AU10TIX CEO Ron Atzmon about his company's role in the blockchain industry, the effect of the GDPR, and the future of identity verification. So can you tell me, just in a very general sense, what is AU10TIX?
So authentics is an ID authentication company, but if you take up all the niceties, and I'd say all the makeup, in our core capability, our origination is coming from image processing. So in a simple way, we're an image processing shop, and we started. We're kind of an interesting company because you're not one of your typical startups that has started a few years ago. So we spun off from a bigger company called ICTS, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, airport security company in the world, which does passenger screening around the world since 1982. And Authentic started as the R&D unit of ICTS to provide document authentication capabilities for its parent company. So that's where so our ground roots were coming from immigration and airport security. So that's where we're coming from. And our core competence, where we started, we expanded a bit more, but in our ground roots, we do document authentication. And in the last couple of years, we started expanding our offering for different services that give the full ID authentication capability, because it's not just document authentication. People are looking for also face comparison and liveness and data verification and the different services to get from a one-stop shop capability.
Okay, so who exactly are you targeting, or rather, who contacts you the most for your business? What kinds of companies and from what industry?
It's interesting because basically whoever it's split to two different. This question can be answered in two different ways.
Okay.
Anybody that needs to authenticate its users would be our customer. Where we see the majority of the traffic coming from is from companies that are regulatory driven. They need to verify that the person says he for a KYC, and then for the uneducated audience or the newcomers, KYC stands for Know Your Customer, for the banking regulation. So any of our customers that needs to do KYC is a potential customer, but we have also customers that are not regulated driven, that they want to authenticate the users, like companies like Upwork, which is the biggest online freelancer market, and we have also insurance customers that are doing it more from a risk point of view, less from a compliance point of view. We have lenders. Again, they need lenders that for personal consumption, or lenders for cars. Again, they are not required to do KYC. They use our tool in order to, from two reasons. One is for risk, and the other is for operation efficiency, because one of the biggest pains in the onboarding process of customers is, if it's because of risk or because of compliance, is the onboarding process itself, which is it's painful for the back office to do it, and it's also painful for the user to do it. So we're trying to create a frictionless environment for the user, and also a frictionless environment for our customers, which is the business.
Okay, I see. So, do you work with any companies within the blockchain sphere specifically?
We enable blockchain. I mean, if you see, we work, let's say, in the crypto world, we do work massively. So we have been, one of our oldest customers is eToro, but in the last 12 months, we added a few other major players, such as Coinbase, Gemini. We launched our first Japanese crypto exchange customer in Japan a couple of weeks back. I'm not sure I'm allowed to disclose his name first, but it's our first Japanese customer. So we on a Japanese production environment, which is based in Japan. So we've been actively in the crypto space in the last crypto and blockchain in the last, I would say, 12 months. We look to see some more traffic, and what's happening is the market has been waking up lately. I would say lately is open for interpretation, but I would say in the last 12 to 18 months we started to get more and more into that sector.
Okay. So, what exactly? I know you said you're an image processing service. What makes AU10TIX unique? Like, why would I choose AU10TIX as opposed to another verification platform?
Well, that's a very good question, and there's a lot of battle haze and smoking mirrors in the industry. So let me tell you this: I would say image processing, unlike data trafficking or data exchange platform, it's a different ball game. Image processing, it's much more heavy lifting, and the depth and the experience and the algorithmic models that we have developed for the last 25 years, that's what puts us ahead of the game of any other vendor that exists in the market. I won't say that nobody can, that we will be unbeatable for the end of the world, but with any of our customers, if it's Coinbase or PayPal or Google or any of the other customers that we provide services, or Visa, we are either the single provider or we are the waterfall tool that puts us that in that process. And we do that because we are fully automated. I think, if you try to clean the noise, unlike any other vendors that exist in the market, and all of them say, yeah, we're fully automated. But in the end of the game, if you go to their offices, most of the job is done. Most of them are just OCR machines, and for the people that are newer to this industry, OCR means just data extraction and not real authentication. So what makes us unique is, first of all, that we're fully automated. We don't do OCR and then people check the documents manually. We have no people in the back end. We are 56 people, and all of them, or the majority of them, is R&D people. The rest is just account management and a bit of sales. So we're fully automated. That means that nobody leaves. By the way, all the system is self-contained. Data doesn't been sent outside of the geolocation. I mean, like, the servers are based in the US and data doesn't go to India like with other vendors, or Europe or Asia, whatever you're gonna talk. We're super fast. In our latest stress test by one of our customers, we were able to process 66 images per second at an average speed of 4.5 seconds per image. Nobody is able to beat our speed nor our scale. That's why the crypto exchanges are being coming to us, because no other vendor can compete with our scalability and the ability to deal with the fluctuation of the traffic. We are fully back-end systems, so you don't need any our tools in the. We don't enforce our front-end tools on our customers. You can just connect to our API. Of course, our authentication capabilities is second to none. We come from immigration. We've been, as I say to my customers and prospects, we eat documents for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the last 25 years. So we know what we're doing. To tell you that we don't miss here and there. We do miss here and there, but in the grand scheme of it, we give the best performance. What else makes us unique? Our ability to filter the noisy images. I mean, there's a lot of bad images coming because of the mobile device. We're able to give actionable results to our customers. So because we're so fast, we allow our customers to communicate with the users because of our scale on the automation of the system. And we do global. I mean, we are a global provider. Nobody is able to compete on our coverage, neither from document scope, neither from language. We do Latin, Cyrillic, Chinese, Japanese, Hebrew, and additional character sets. So, I mean, like, if you're looking for a global provider, currently, looks like we're the only game in town. That's what we're hearing from our customers.
Okay. So can you comment a little bit then, I know you can't really give specifics, but as far as these exchanges that you've mentioned, are the authentication processes on these exchanges more or less the same, or do you feel that there are certain ones that have, it's clear that they have better data security? What do you think?
I can only talk on the ones that I'm dealing with. I can't talk about exchanges that I haven't worked with, so I won't. But even I would say it changes from one exchange to the other. The standard is more of this. I would say they try to achieve the same standard level, but like any of our customers, and I like to look at my customers as a child. I have 4 kids, so and each one of my child is unique. Each one of them is unique by behavior. Each one of them is unique by its needs and capabilities and the market it's addressing. One of few of them are, it's also based on what coverage are they what territories they're looking for, what is their appetite for risk and fraud, what is their not all the crypto exchanges serve the same currencies, which also affect different type of customers, different demographics. So I would say that between our customers, all of them are looking to achieve the highest compliance levels and authentication levels. But then, each of them, is because they're not, I would say, not even one is similar to the other because they think different. So they have their own tweaks and decision and different decisioning.
Okay. And as far as user perspective is concerned, does the AU10TIX platform really interact at all directly with users, or is it something that kind of operates in the back end?
No, we don't believe. We don't operate with the end user. We operate with our customers. Okay. Our customers are the business. I don't think the philosophy that we come from is the following. We tell to our customers, you know your customer better than we do. So, and I think that it is, and as I said, each one of them have their own methodology. And we are here to support them. We are here to help them. And because the system, and I can't open it too much because it's confidential information, but because the system is so adjustable, okay, each one of them can configure it in its own way. So therefore we will give advice. We'll give best practices. We'll give them our view. We are not shy to tell our customers what is our view in that respect. But in the end of the game, it is up to our customers how he wants to deal with his end customer. And I don't think that is in our place to interact with the user. The user is there. They own it. And that's our philosophy.
Right. And so how can users know that their data is safe if it's being processed by AU10TIX?
So first of all, we don't keep any data.
Okay.
So we AU10TIX doesn't want to touch PII. I mean, we touch PII only in the processing, but unlike any other vendors who I don't want to talk. I mean, so some of them keep data. We just want. I mean, our customers, our business customers, they control the deletion process. They control the full process, and we don't want to keep because of compliance and risk and GDPR, and once you keep data, it puts you into a different ball game.
Okay.
And because the technology is so robust, and we don't need the data in order to give a better service, unlike the other vendors who are less. They need it because they're less sophisticated, and they have their handicap and different capabilities. So therefore, they need to get the data in order to give a better service. We don't care. We say, hit us with the image. We'll clean it. We'll process it for you. We'll give you the answer and take it away from us. We don't want it. We know how to improve the system on our own. We don't need the customer data in order to do that. We know our models are so sophisticated that. I mean, it's been built for so many years that we can improve in other ways.
So GDPR doesn't really directly affect the work that AU10TIX does?
Unfortunately, that's not the case.
Okay.
I'll tell you an example. Whoever wrote the GDPR, I mean, I don't think they really understood what they were writing in the first place. I'll tell you an example. My contacts needs to be GDPR compliant. It's insane. I mean, my Outlook. I mean, so what if I have, so think of this, everybody needs to be GDPR compliant. Even if you are I'm trying to think, even if you're manufacturing detergents, okay, and you're selling, you're like I don't know, you're like Procter and Gamble, and your customer is Walmart, and if you not Walmart, but if you're Procter and Gamble, and your customer is Tesco, and it's European data, so you need to be GDPR compliant. So I think. Regulation is good, but I think GDPR took it to a point that I think it will be my personal view because we're going a very deep process to be GDPR compliant. I don't think that it's not the person, but the people who wrote the GDPR really understood how deep and what are the repercussions of what they're asking for. And, like any regulation, it's not totally clear. It's like KYC. It's like even in our space, people are asking, okay, check the document. But if you ask the regulator, okay, so what is your standard to check the document? And the regulator says, do best effort. And then you ask, so what is best effort?
Yeah.
So it's open for interpretation. And I think that's one of the major problems when you talk about regulation and compliance. It's good, but it has to be much more clear. And the problem, and by regulators not willing to take a much more firmer decision, it gives an open for interpretation. And I must admit, not us, but our customers, as I said, listen, I won't say they are lost, but you ask two different person and you send the same regulation, you might get more than one answer because it's not cut clean. And I think if people talking and I'm talking here, thinking forward, if regulators want to make, I totally understand where they're coming from, but on the other side, you can write such open-ended regulation. It has to be much more clear, not too open to interpretation, because then you have different companies looking at regulation a different way.
Okay. So what's on the roadmap for AU10TIX over the next year then, in general?
I think a couple of things. First, we see dramatic growth in our sector. Globally. I mean, if when I joined the team 9 years ago, I saw Europe starting first and then the US, and now Asia is picking up. I see, I can't even more target specific geolocation. I mean, like, it's coming from places you won't even think of, like countries that interesting that you wouldn't think that, it will become from. Product-wise, I mean, there's no doubt about it in the market at the moment that if you're looking for the the top service for from an image processing point of view, which is the document and the selfie and everything, that AU10TIX is the solution for scale, for automation, for data privacy, for speed. I mean, there's no doubt about it, and that's why we're the number one provider. And also, I mean, we're not, as our customer says, we're the most expensive service. But we give value for money. We don't charge the price because, we kind of like it, because if you look at the grand scheme of it, we get a good return on the investment, and it's worth it. Product-wise, when you come to a relationship with customers that's been with you for like now 7 years, 6 years, and they say, listen, we like your product. What else? We trust you. What else can you give us? And what we see the trend is to give us a one-stop shop solution, and we are now seeing it, and we are developing tools to give our customers, because they don't like doing multiple API integration. So on top of that, we're giving now the selfie. We're also now giving the ability to extract data from proof of address, utility bills, and also our customers are starting out to provide them data services like patent sanctions and AML list and different restrictions and adverse verification, which is relatively, it's a commodity market, but we are in the business to provide our customers what they're looking for, and if that's what our customers are looking for, that's what we'll provide. So what we're looking to do is to take the unique position that AU10TIX is in the market as the number one provider in the market from a technology point of view, and to offer additional services that will complement their service, and to do a hassle-free service for our customers. So that's basically the place that we're going to.
All right. Well, Ron, that's all the questions that I have for today. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we close this interview?
I think a couple of things. I think that it's a fascinating market. I mean, like I must admit, in the early days when I joined, we were walking the desert. I mean, there was not a lot of customers, and the revenue was not really there. But I must say now that the market's starting picking up, we are, I would say, we're very well addressed technology-wise, and it's fascinating. I mean, the market is evolving, and I would say, and it's fascinating to see the different companies that are popping up in the industry, if it's from the lending point of view, or if it's for trading with crypto, or if it's wallet, or, I mean, like, companies that have been around for 9 years. I'd say it's more than a dog lifespan. You just look, for example, at companies like Grab that started from a car sharing company to a payment platform. You see companies that say, you come out of meetings and say, wow, it's like fascinating. You don't think that these things can be done. So it's really, really fascinating. It's really a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of hard work. And I would say we're not even in the end of the beginning.
Yeah. So what do you mean by that?
I mean by that this is not, we're just at stage one of the evolution, and stage one hasn't even finished. So I would say the whole blockchain is interesting. Nobody really knows what's gonna go. I mean, you see the ICOs, you see how the regulators are looking into it. You see the way to store identity on the blockchain. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I think as long as regulators innovation is interesting, but what people need to understand in our sector that it's also, as long as the markets are regulated, the regulator will always have the last word to say on everything.
Right. All right. Well, Ron, thank you so much for your time. This was really interesting.